Hello friends. Today I will show you a very good opening trap. If you know her, it will be very easy for you to win the game in the very opening. And so off we go. In this example you are playing as white. The pawn goes to e4, the standard move. Black advances the pawn to e5. Everything is pretty standard. The white knight goes to g3 and f3, attacking the black pawn. If black defends this pawn with this move, a pawn on f6, quite often defending this pawn in this way. This is where the most interesting part begins. You just simply sacrifice your horse. Remember, if your opponent was like this, he defended his pawn on f6. In principle, he has already been caught. And so what we do next? We capture the pawn on e5 by sacrificing our knight. Black. If they do not take the knight, we will simply win this pawn and then move back. Well, yes. I think that black takes this knight, winning the knight from us with the next move. We will leave the queen on h5, making the black king check. What options does black have? You can hide behind a pawn, but you can't, because the black queen will hit the pawn on e5 and take a step and take the rook. So black discards this variation immediately. What other options? The only option is to hide behind nothing. It is the king to move to e7 on the next move with the white queen. Captures the pawn on e5 and checks the black king. What are the options for the black king? The only option is to retreat to f7 with the king. What does white do next? The white bishop will move to c4, making the black king check. Again. What are black's options? You might think you can hide behind this pawn, but it's useless. Just take the pawn and that's it. Therefore the black king can only go to g6. What does white do next? The queen is on f5. And do check to the black king. Mind you, we just sacrificed a horse and how far we drove the enemy king. So we will not be distracted by making the black king check. What are the options for the black king? You can only retreat to h6. There are simply no other options. The next move we put the pawn on d4. Thereby opening the bishop and making the black king a check. Again. What are black's options? There is nowhere to retreat to cover. You can either use a queen or a pawn to hide behind a queen. Because we will take the black queen. Therefore black covers himself with a pawn. We advance our pawn to h4. Attacking the black pawn that covers the bishop. The black pawn cannot be beaten because there will be a check. And black has the only option here. Leave this line because the rook will open here. We will hit the pawn with the next move and open the rook. Therefore, the black king will go to g7 anyway. On the next move we put the queen on f7. Taking a step to the black king. The black king's only option is to move back to h6. And on the next move we capture the black pawn on g5 by making a double check from the pawn and from the rook. And checkmate the black king. In this way, sacrificing a knight, you are guaranteed to give the black king a checkmate. In my opinion, a very interesting opening trap. So always remember, If the pawn on e5 defended the opponent with a pawn on g6, you can immediately sacrifice the knight well. Then learn this situation. There is nothing difficult here and you are guaranteed to give the black king a checkmate. Because there were no options for black here. They only acted as we offered them. Because there is always a check and the black king can either run away or just hide behind something. So take this opening trap into your arsenal. Play chess. Subscribe to my channel. Like anyone interested. And remember, every chess master was once a beginner. Bye.